And we have fear generated through this malpractice. News corporations show social irresponsibility, but it makes money, so they don't care. And there's no reins on their behaviour, really, is there? Now, we find there's no difference between what you see on a newscast to what is happening around you, because the amygdala, that little thing in the middle of our brains, doesn't know reality and fiction. It can't determine that. That's not its job. Its job is to raise an emotion to protect us. So it doesn't know if it's real or not. And we become frightened, severely frightened. I've seen it happen to so many people, so many times, and it's awful, totally irresponsible of them. Anyone who makes money out of negative emotions is socially corrupt. Anyone who makes money out of positive emotions, they're good. They're responsible about what they do, and their activities help us. Let me give you an example of this effect. This is completely out of left field, so don't worry. Tornado watchers. They get your attention because they're filming these enormous tornadoes which rip through communities, and there's so many fatalities when this happens. Now, they do it to really get their high from it. They're not paid. So when have you paid for a tornado watcher? No, you haven't, have you? Now, that is what we would call a social benefit or good. It's a social good. And they do this because they love it. They love doing it, capturing media of these huge, huge tornadoes. Now, another example is water. Now, we human beings cannot live without water. Just can't do it. Our bodies are made up of more than 90% of water. So, this is pretty hard to give up. You can't. You need your water. And if water corporations or companies don't put their money into renewing structure to ensure that we get clean water, if they don't do that, we are risking terrible diseases that will happen to us. Now, they're doing that not to pay into the infrastructure because they get more profit. And, it's not a very good idea. Gives you money in the short run. Now, our emotional need here is safety. It's on the trust dimension. And we want to get into confidence. That's the positive emotion that we need. And how do we do that? Because anything that boosts up our confidence is really a good thing for us to be doing. Now, back to Putin and the threat of nuclear war. He came from the KGB. Undoubtedly, he would have done terrible things to invoke fear, to climb his way up over many dead bodies, is how someone said it. He would be the master of fear to get where he is now. Therefore, his track record is negative emotions. He lives in anger, which turns to rage. Sadness would be in the form of depression. Ever see him smile? Very rarely. Occasionally you see it, but not very often. So he lives in anger, which turns to rage. Sadness, which gives him depression. Have you ever seen him smile? Very little in the media shows Putin smiling. It's a little bit beyond him. And overwhelming fear. He would have overwhelming fear. Temper tantrums would mask this fear. But he does have it. He can't show it because he himself is fearful. He's running scared. Right. He does not want to die. Remember that huge long table he used towards the end of COVID? Whoops. Do you remember that huge long table that he used at the end of COVID, at the beginning of the Ukrainian war? It was miles long. He was down one end and his officials were down the other. You know, we had lockdowns and vaccinations. What did Putin have? A great big long table. It is laughable, but it's clear he does not want to die. Now, you think about this within the nuclear war. Yes, he's fearful enough for his own death that he will never press the button. He will never do it. Why? Because NATO and the US would retaliate in nanoseconds. This is beyond anyone's decision. He blows up a nuclear bomb, poof, he's out of it. Which is rather good for our safety, actually. And that's the way he's held in check, not by news companies or corporations. He's in check because he doesn't want to die. I don't think many people have cottoned on to this. But yes, they have. So finding out facts about what you see on a video, a newscast, is actually a very beneficial thing, because you need to be wary of where your information is coming from. And if they show anything untoward, get out of it. It's not doing you any good, and it's making you believe things that are not real. It's just scaring you so that they can get advertisers in, and the advertisers pay the money. It's simple. So now you have to protect your confidence. It is so important to do that, because you'll have this bunch of fear and it will eat away at you if we don't deal with it. Now, what we're going to do is I want you to think about similar situations where you're, like someone told you a lie and you found out, that sort of thing, because it erodes your trust in that person, wears you down. Okay, you've been through that because everyone else has. And there'll be someone told you a lie and you found out it wasn't true. So how did you find out it wasn't true? Through other sources of information. That's what happened. Okay, so you've done that and we're going to fall back on it. Now, the affirmation that I suggest for fear goes like this. I've got this done. The affirmation that I use is quite a simple one, saying, I've got this. I've got this means you've got courage, you've got confidence. I'm handling it, I'm on top of it. Brilliant. That's what we need. Right. Remember how we do this? We close our eyes and we repeat, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this 3 times. So we're going to do it now. Okay. Close your eyes. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. Open your eyes. You feel better, don't you? Straight away. It's amazing. Oh, it's giving me goosebumps. It's so good. Now, this will help you all the way through the rest of your life. Do not live in fear. Live in courage, confidence. Putin has less of a hold on you now, hasn't he? Good for you.